Yeah, give them the link to the YouTube channel, and they'll be able to figure out everything from mom and dad. So now, you retired at 49,
Right.
and you retired, we won't say.
57.
57, okay. Yeah. So you've been retired for a few years.
Yeah.
What have you guys been doing with your time? I have some things in mind, but there's probably some other things like you do EMT, you restored the Methodist Church,
Right.
which I wouldn't mind talking just briefly about that. Just as I looked at it when I'd walk by, and I went there as a child, and what I thought about that, and just talk a little bit about that. But first, you have 3 sons.
Right.
Is Nate the oldest or Theron?
Theron's the oldest.
Theron is the oldest, and I think I coached Theron in junior high.
Yep.
I have a picture of that group, and I could not find it for the life of me.
They were all tall, skinny kids.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And so Theron graduated in what, like 95?
97.
97.
97.
97.
Okay. And then Nate was
Nate's our middle son.
middle.
And he graduated in 99.
99. And then Carson.
Wow, you're good. Carson graduated in 03.
03.
Yep.
Well,
2 years older than
Karsten
John.
is 2 years older than our oldest. Your youngest is 2 years older than
Right.
our oldest. And of course I coached Theron, so I kind of always knew your family a little bit, the boys anyway.
Yeah.
And I came from a family of 3 boys too, so
Right.
that kind of resonated with me. And where are the boys now? Are they all spread around, or?
Two of them are in Wisconsin, nearby.
Okay.
Theron works in Madison as he works with a contractor. They basically do build-outs, office build-outs. They do a lot of restaurants in Madison. They'll do high-end homes.
Okay.
They've done penthouses on the top of the Edgewater Hotel, that type of thing. It's very interesting. He got that job just as an intern when he was still a senior in college at the UW, and his boss said, "I'm hiring this guy." So he's been there ever since. They live in Edgerton.
Okay.
They have 3 kids. They have 2 boys and our only granddaughter, the youngest one.
It's a curse.
His wife, Erin,
Yes.
is the guidance counselor.
Say that again, sir.
Theron's wife, Erin, is the guidance counselor at Edgerton High School.
Okay.
And they have actually taken over the German exchange program
At Edgerton?
from Heights.
Oh,
Really?
That Jeri was
Really?
Yeah. So after I quit, there was no interest in maintaining the exchange program anymore that had been going since 1978. I'm not bitter. And
Let's just get it out. Yeah, get it out, Jerry.
so anyway, one summer after I retired, I took the 3 girls, the 3 daughter-in-laws to Germany so that they kind of understood like what our life was like, because so many years we did these exchange programs, and so we had a blast. So daughter-in-laws are Erin, Trisha, and Lizzie.
By the way, that was my idea.
Okay.
That she take them over there. I wanted them to see her in her environment.
Okay. Really?
Isn't he a nice guy?
Yeah.
So anyway,
Smart.
so we went over there and we went and I had been saying, Erin, you should just do this program because, Eschwege is such a nice, very welcoming city. And we go there and we go into the school and we meet with the principal. And, we had been going so often that it was like I'd walk in the teacher's lounge and people would say, "Oh, Jerry's back. Hi, Jeri." It was just a wonderful atmosphere. And they sat down and they discussed it. And Erin said, "Sure, Edgerton will start being the exchange program with Eschwege." So they still do it. Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. I didn't know that. I thought each individual high school had to do that, but not.
It's a little. It's a kind of loosely organized.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So through
All
Wisconsin.
the contacts were there. So
I see.
Yeah.
And so that's Theron and his wife
Erin.
and children, and then Nate is
Nathan is in Greendale, south
Okay.
of Milwaukee, and he has our oldest grandson, Isaiah, and another son, Tristan.
Okay.
He married Trisha. They went to the UW. They met there. he went all the way there and studied so that he could meet somebody that lives 10 miles away in Sauk City.
Yeah, that's the way it is sometimes.
So she's wonderful.
Yeah.
So, and then Carson actually went to school in Winona State. And,
Okay.
oh, wait, we didn't go through this. So Nathan is also a geologist.
He is.
Yeah. And he went,
Well, he's actually a practicing geologist. He's employed.
right. And
Yeah,
then he
okay.
went back and got his geological engineering degree at Reno.
Yep.
He went to
Undergrad in Madison, and then
He went to Reno.
Wow.
Came back. And then the youngest is Carson, who went to Winona and got a degree in engineering also, or I'm sorry, in geology. Met his wife Lizzie there, and they now live. He was with, so that's kind of an engineering campus, the Winona State, and he lived with a bunch of engineers, and they all like graduated and went out to Seattle. And Carson graduated and went and worked in Plain for Kramer for a year.
Oh, really?
And his friends are like, you should come out here. This is a happening town. And so he went out there, and they haven't come back. So,
Really?
yeah.
Huh.
So that's where they are. They have no children.
Okay.
Yep.
So you don't get to see Carson as
No,
much as
he's
the other boys, huh?
He's inconveniently located in
Yeah.
Seattle.
Yeah.
But we
Huh.
do, I mean,
What?
yeah.
Sure, go ahead.
Well, they are expecting their first child. and I don't
We're
want
pretty
to.
excited about
Breaking
that.
news! Breaking news!
I don't
Will you be in
want to.
trouble for this?
No, they said no. We can tell, but
Just don't go on a podcast and tell people.
Yes, Mom and Dad, you can do whatever
only
you want.
thing.
Just don't do it on that
They had
huge
nothing in writing.
father-son voiceover podcast. This gets all around the world.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yep.
So you guys, that's what you do. You know, you have children and grandchildren.
Right.
That's one of the things you do when you're retired. But you also work for Mazo Mani EMT, both of you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And what are your responsibilities there? And they just had a sign up saying we need more
It
EMTs.
said we need
Definitely.
the Barsnesses. I think that's
Right.
what the sign
Eight
said.
Yeah.
of us, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah. So our District 1 EMT organization out here is the last volunteer organization in Dane County.
It is.
Yeah. Most of them used to be all volunteer, and we're the last one. And it's a difficult struggle, and we really need a lot more volunteers. There's a lot of things are impacting that. COVID being one of them, and the fact that a lot of the EMTs were, for instance, medical students, nursing school students, that type of stuff in Madison, where District 1 would pay for their instruction. In return, they would have to serve out here for a year and, do like 3 shifts a month, that type of thing. COVID really had a huge impact on that. The other thing that has impacted, there seems to be a movement in the emergency management situation to push for higher levels and getting into paramedics and that type of thing, and more full-time professionals. That is going to have some budget considerations in terms of the amount of pay, because when we started, we were getting $12 a day, $12 a shift for 12 hours.
That's like $1 an hour.
It
Yeah.
was. It was.
Yeah,
Good
but it was a
math.
surprise to us because
Yeah.
we
We
signed
thought
up
we
and
were
You thought
not
you were
going to get
volunteering.
anything. We're like,
Okay.
whoa,
and the
$12.
number of hours you have to put in to get certified as an EMT now has drastically gone up. It's nearly double of what we did, and we thought that was terrible. So,
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think that they're looking more, instead of just having trained people, they're looking to have people that are like overtrained, and the hospitals are really pushing to have people in the field be really ready to do a lot more than I think than probably, in my opinion, than is necessary. We are 20 minutes from 5 wonderful hospitals
yeah, exactly.
here.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I don't know that we need such strict advanced training right here if we can put them in the ambulance and get them in there. But that's a whole other
Yeah.
ballgame.
When you realize that Madison and Middleton and the surrounding area, they're all paramedics, highly trained, but they're 5 minutes from a hospital. So the amount of interventions that they have to do often are much less than we have to do with a patient that takes 20, 25 minutes to get them to the hospital.
Yeah.
So
And so you guys do, how many, do you do multiple shifts per week, or what
Well,
do
we
you do?
do-
And do you do them together, or do you have to do them separately, or how does that work?
Well, we've kind of like fixed in on one
on
shift a week on every, day shift on Mondays.
So if you're going to get sick, Monday is the time.
Monday
to
is
call
the
in.
time.
I'll make
You
sure
gotta
I write
really
that
be
down.
taken care of. Well,
That's
Yeah.
right. At least it's been that way for the last 3 or 4 years. I think we were Wednesdays for many, for many.
do you have to go there and
Years.
stay?
No, that's one nice thing about living here in Mazomania. As long as we're 3 minutes from the station,
Okay.
we don't have to stay at the station. So that's one of the advantages. The fact that we're retired, that's kind of what else we'd like to look for is that retired people that are here during the day.
Yeah.
Because
right.
other people that have, day jobs, they can fill the night shifts and weekends and that type of thing. But it is really difficult filling the day shifts. And it's kind of moving to what they call an LTE position where they're
Limited time employment, correct?
limited time
Yeah.
employment and they're
Much
paid
information.
quite a lot more money
Yeah.
Sure.
per hour than volunteers.
Do you get one of those flashing red
Oh, and
lights?
It'd be nice, but we don't.
Oh, you don't? Oh,
No.
okay. That'd be
So
a big
we-
selling point, I
So
would
we
think.
obey the speed limits and everything to get down to the station in
Okay.
those 3 minutes. Yeah.
so
Good
we
for
work
you.
together, but we are called the Bickersons because I'm like, come on, Jet, have you done the blood pressure yet? And he goes, oh, Jerry, come on. And I'm like, you got to do this report. And so finally, I realized we have a patient that's going, I said, we're married.
She doesn't
Everything's
quite-
gonna be fine.
She
We're
doesn't
married.
quite realize that I'm the crew chief. I'm saying for that.
Who takes orders from him? Come
Okay,
on.
so-
And it's
yeah.
about halfway to the hospital that one of us has to tell the patient, by the way, we're married.
Yeah.
And they go, oh,
Oh, okay. That explains the
One
whole
person,
thing.
one
Yeah.
cute story. A lady, I said, oh, by the way, we're married. And she goes, well, my husband's in the front seat. This is a double date.
Right. But I will have to say that she has the great bedside manner. Okay. Usually we're going in and I'm writing the report, I'm doing the radio report, that type of thing. And she is talking and I'm trying to get technical information out of what her exchange is with the patient. And it's usually like, now, you're related to who and whose cousin is that?
Yeah.
And all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And the great part about it, I can look over and I see the patient's heart rate has
Yeah.
gone down, the
was gonna
blood
say
pressure
that,
has gone
yeah.
down. She is just great with that. It's been, I missed that in the last month since she hasn't been able to run. And there's been a couple times where I've had to take that over and that's a difficult job.
Oh, yeah. No, it's right to my strength.
The segue into, we'll get back to retirement, but one of the things you guys do is bike, and you had an accident.
I did.
Pretty bad one, huh?
Yeah. Humbling. It's not a disease. I'm getting better,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yeah, I'm blaming it on him. My front tire clipped his back tire on Rocheck Road, nice and flat, no traffic, no.
You take your
impediment.
kids out there to teach them how to ride
Yeah,
a bike,
exactly.
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then boom, I landed in the ditch and got an ambulance ride, but not with our ambulance. Our ambulance was out for an oil change, so Sock had to come. But I'm getting better.
Were you there then?
Oh, yeah.
So you were the bedside manner person then?
Yeah, or the curbside manner.
Yeah.
Curbside. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you
But it's-
related
If
to
they do
who?
enough.
And when will you be fully recovered? Do you have any ideas or?
I soon, I hope.
Okay.
I just, it's good. So many people have so many worse things.
Yeah, you want to talk about that. So you decided to buy the old Methodist church.
He did.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Becky and I walk by there basically every day. We have a walk about 2.5 miles. We walk every day, and you guys were diligently down there. And in all honesty, I would say, boy, I hope he's trained as a construction guy or something, because that is a big job. And I imagined, to be quite honest with you, I don't know if you know, like in Black Earth, there's 2 churches that have been remodeled into
Right.
apartments and stuff.
Yeah. Right.
And that's fine, whatever. But some of it was a little bit hobnobby and stuff, or kind of. But when I saw the pictures of what you guys did,
Yeah.
I thought there's no way. They were out there working, but then they had crews of like one of your sons. Which one is it that does the
Theron.
does the remodeling and all these stuff?
Right.
But you did that. You guys did that all yourself.
Well,
Pretty much.
He gave us, right. We had an architect.
I did the plan,
Right,
gave it to
right.
him. He took it to basically the construction engineers that basically said, yeah, this is how you can do it. And they came back with, because we put a walkway and that type of thing. And so they were able to determine, okay, you're going to need supports here. You need to going to put footings in the basement, that type of thing. So they told us all that, what we need to do. And then
But you
we went ahead and did
But you
that.
did it.
Yeah.
See, I mean, I can mentally, like I designed this whole upstairs and stuff.
Nice.
But the thing is, I mean, well, it's
Why
nice,
is
but it's
Hudson
nothing
laughing?
like what you guys did.
Wide
And then,
open.
but I wouldn't even
Nothing
attempt
anywhere.
to do the job. I wouldn't even attempt to do it because I'm just not handy. But
Right.
how did you learn that growing up, or did you just put on your tool belt and say, I'm just going to figure this out, or what?
So
Yeah,
we
it was
did-
just, well,
yeah.
we have done a lot of different things in terms of even on our own house,
Okay.
putting on the deck, tile work, that type of thing.
Okay.
But we did have professionals come in. So Steve
Right.
Flogel did the electric. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
it isn't like we did
Yeah.
that. And then Rodney and Vern Holler did the roughing
The rough.
and then we had the roof done, and I mean, and we had
Yeah.
a plumber, and right. I mean, so it was done correctly.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, but I mean, just the so much of the work,
Oh, I know.
the
dirty-
grunt labor and
Yeah,
the
really
planning
dirty-
things and
like,
stuff.
The
Like,
first
I'd
thing
see
was
you
putting
guys out there.
hazmat suits on and getting 100 years worth of pigeon poop out of the attic.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
we did have fun though with those
Yeah.
hazmat suits. We went outside
Yeah.
during recess and walked
Yeah,
around. Scared the kid.
Don't do that around COVID.
Yeah, right.
Those kids definitely would have been afraid of you.
But I remember walking by there, and you'd have the saw out there, and you'd
Yeah.
be sawing something, you run back in there, and I said, boy, I wonder what's.
You
But
too
it was-
bad
you know, it
didn't
was- it
come
was
through.
8 to 10
I
I
years
feel
thought
bad.
about doing it, but I thought
we
I'm not
took
going
a
to
lot
bug
of
these
people
people.
through. I mean, we weren't discriminating.
Yeah. Yeah, but you did a very wonderful job. You
Well,
really
thank
did. I mean,
Yes.
far, far better than I thought other people have done with church buildings. I mean, as far
thanks.
as right around here, you did a
Yeah.
very excellent job, I
It
thought.
really is. It really
Yeah.
was nice.
Well, we kind of had our hearts into it too. There's a lot of history in that building then, and it was too nice as a structure to not bring back and
Yeah.
make useful to the
Yeah,
village.
seems like you honored the architecture and stuff, and yet made it
Right.
Yeah,
Useful.
So yeah,
But I do have to say, so the person that had started the remodel had bought the Harrington house next door, and then everything just went to heck, right? 2007, 2008, right? And so he had made a large scaffolding structure for the interior. And we had, of course, gotten bids on doing this and this and this. And he is on the third level up there, with mask on, and he's knocking down the plaster and then putting it in a container, and then it goes down another layer or another level, and then I pick it up and take it outside. And I'm like, I said to him, I thought we were hiring this part out. It just, every little thing, it's like, well, we're not going to hire this out. If he said, no, I think we can get this done. It's like, oh, okay. But
did you keep track of your hours?
Oh yeah.
are
No,
you kidding?
No, didn't
The-
keep track of the hours. No, but kept
Every
track of
penny
every
that went
little thing
into
that
it.
was
Yeah.
in there.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's lots of spreadsheets at our house.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
But it was nice. It was a labor of love,
Yeah.
we say.
Would you
I
ever
did
do it?
have to build a scale model
You did.
Really? Oh.
to convince her and convince Theron, my son, that this
It could be done.
This could be done.
Uh-huh.
This could work.
Really?
Yeah.
Design. Yeah.
Would you ever do anything like that, or is it like now as you get a little bit older,
I
you're going,
have
"Oh, I just
An
I couldn't."
unbelievable appreciation for people that work in the trades.
Mhm.
And towards the end, I was in a couple places that my son was working on, and he had the workers in there, and I see young people doing tile work, and
Yeah.
he gets kind of irritated when I start talking to him and says, do not do this your entire life. Find something else, because, the bursitis and
Yeah.
hernias and
Yeah.
that type
Yeah.
of thing. It's like, it's amazing to do that that long.
Yeah.
It's really taxing on your body.
I like to watch people who are good at anything. but especially like the trades, because I just can't
Right,
do it.
right.
But like people just put in carpet this last week for us, and I've tried to lay carpet before. It does not go well.
yeah.
It does not go well.
Pulling
You
it out
think
is
you think
difficult.
how hard is this? Yeah,
Pulling it out
pulling
is
it out is even
difficult.
difficult. Putting it in, stretching it properly and getting it butted
Yeah,
up there and fit right and cut right. I never have things that are sharp and stuff. So anyway, yeah, I mean, I like to watch. The only is I'm like that progressive guy where I'm always standing over people, asking them questions and stuff. And so
Yeah,
you
I-
hired him to do this.
I think
too.
if we were younger, we'd probably say, "Oh yeah, let's find another place." But no,
Yeah.
not at our age. No.
yeah.
People do send us little things in the mail like, this church is for sale. And so I'm like, no.
It was just a one-time
Touch
thing.
me.
We mail some matches back to him. And
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have any other hobbies that you of note? Or I mean that's quite a full
Yeah, it is.
retirement already with children, grandchildren
well, we do have bees.
We keep bees.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. Yeah.
up at your
Yeah, yeah.
location up there?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, behind there. So,
So
we can-
we used to have so Frank Holtzman got us started, and we used to have we were up to 13 hives, and we're down to about 3 now. And I was going to the market to sell the honey,
Mm-hmm.
and really, he said he'd rather have all of his teeth pulled than go to the market and talk to everybody. So I'm giving samples, and I'm kind of loving it. But you come home and like, wow, all that work, and we came home with $80. Wow! So it just so now at the end of our little cul-de-sac, we just have a self-serve honey thing, and it works out just great. And people are so honest.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, that works. So that's our.
I've seen the signs, but I didn't know. I wouldn't have assumed that was you guys
Yeah.
up
Yeah,
there.
it is.
What's the name of your? Do you have a company
Flows,
name?
It just falls off Windflower Apiaries. Isn't that just easy to say?
Windflower
It
apiary.
says a wispy, beautiful.
Yeah, it should be. There's so many other cute names. One's called Working Girls. I always liked that. But yeah, I don't know, whatever. But in between, I do have to make this plug for Mazomanie. I was with a group of women, and we built the splash pad down at the
Yes,
park.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so I
yes,
was
that's
that-
right.
So while he was getting figures ready for the church and getting that renovated, I was like writing these please send us money things. So we got that was a nice
Yeah.
and that was I think I still quite proud that that's a nice amenity that we've added to the community. So
You guys have done a lot
For- yeah.
for our community and for the school district and stuff.
Oh.
Thank you.
Well, thank
yeah,
you.
appreciate
we
it.
liked it. It's been good to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got another question. We haven't tackled the most important one.
What's that?
His
yes,
nickname.
yes.
How
Your
could you
nickname.
forget?
We've got
The
like
biggest one. We've got about
like
8
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Oh,
Can you
okay.
tell us? Can you tell us a little bit how you got that nickname?
freshman year at the university. Of course, back then, it's probably the same now, but you have to live in the dorm your first year. And the dorm floors had a thing that was called the Supremacy Cup. So you had football teams, basketball, swimming, track, all those things, and you earned points.
Mm.
And the campus champion in football would then play Minnesota's champion in football.
Oh, really?
Okay. So the first thing is flag football. And so my freshman year in the fall, and so our dorm team goes down. And so I was in Bullis House, and we had won the Supremacy Cup the year before that I was a freshman. Bullis House had.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were very into it. And so I was on the football team. And when the flag football back then, it's like you hardly ever scored.
Okay.
Sometimes you'd win games based on who had the most first downs.
Oh, really? I
Wow.
didn't know. Okay.
Yeah, because everybody packed in so much
Mm-hmm.
that, if you just get near the guy and you can grab the flag, it's not like you have to tackle him or anything
right.
like that. So the spacing is pretty difficult. And so we decided out of our practice, I would line up wide, and I just burned down the field. And the first play would just loft the ball as far as hand, and I'd run down, catch it, score a touchdown, cause everybody else on the other teams to then, okay, their safeties are way back.
Yeah.
They play off.
Yeah.
And that allowed all the underneath plays to go through. And they ended up, so I was fast, in
Yeah.
other words.
Yeah.
And so they just started calling me Jet Springer. It was Springer before that, but then it was Jet Springer. And so like the first play of every game, we get in the huddle and okay, it's Jet Springer. and we do that. And a lot of times, we probably scored on half of them, but it still relaxed the defense. in
Stretch
that.
the field.
So that group that I was with, I was 2 years in the dorms with them, and then we moved out and we lived off campus.
Yeah.
They all just called me Jet all the time since that. So when we met, and my roommate was going with Jeri's sister, and they drove together down there to the university. We're living just off Regent Street in a house. And they came up on that first day before registration. John, my roommate, another reason I've called Jet, because we had a lot of John.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Her brother was John. This was
Wow.
a John, her sister's boyfriend. And so John introduced us and as Jet. And
I didn't know
think
he had another name.
no,
Yeah.
I think we dated for a couple of weeks before she knew that my name was not.
Well, those
You
are
thought
the,
your name was John? You thought his name was Jet?
Well,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, everybody called him
Yeah.
Jet. And,
Yeah.
those are
Yeah.
the best nicknames, the ones that
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
that you use in place of your first
Yeah.
name. Those are great.
do you have one?
Right.
Do I have a couple? I mean, Huddy.
Oh,
That's
sure.
whatever, which is
sure.
Hudson, whatever. But Tylen Parman, right next door, we call him Fred.
Oh, I
And-
love it.
and
Why?
He looked like Fred Mertz when he was a little kid. You know who Fred Mertz is from Lucille Ball?
So everybody just calls him Fred, and it's just you don't call him Ty anymore or anything
Right.
like that. It's just
Right.
Fred.
Right.
Fred.
There's other people that
Yeah.
get really good nicknames,
Yeah.
and that you just call them by that,
Sure,
and that's
sure.
Of course, my parents know nothing about that, and the other side of
Yeah.
my family and all
Yeah.
my relatives
Jet?
have no idea.
Yeah, who's
Yeah,
Jet?
I always thought when I first heard that, I'd like to call him Jet, but I think you should know somebody,
Yeah.
kind of, before you should be a friend of theirs.
And a younger
so
person
now I
can't-
feel like I
yeah.
can.
You
There you
can.
go.
Now I
You
can say, there goes
Yeah.
Jet Springer. I'll even have the inside
It
scoop.
was just Springer for a while.
Oh, just Springer.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was better than the other one I had in high school, which was Little Ivan, because my dad was Ivan Springstead, and being with a Y, everybody knew him. So all the kids
Yeah.
at school called me Little Ivan. So
Oh,
it's
a
like,
little Ivan. Yeah.
Jerry Springer. There you go.
So here's the cute story. So when I was teaching them, Mert Carlson used to call me Springboard all the time. And I said, Mert Carlson's calling me Springboard. He goes, oh, yeah, people used to call me Springboard too. I'm like, really? We share the same
Wow.
nickname?
Yeah.
yeah.
Husband and wife are the same. Well, thanks so
Yeah,
much,
thank
you
you guys.
guys,
This
for
was
taking,
fun.
and not only the half hour, but we got you for an extra
Yeah,
hour.
we'll have you on two episodes
yeah.
because you guys were wonderful.
So full of
seriously that we-
stories and stuff. And but before we go, you can take these for your grandchildren if you want. Here's a coupon to the original father-son voiceover podcast prize ticket.
Great.
You get to go over there and pick something. Now I know you guys are so thin and in shape that you probably have mostly just candy and stuff, but there's some thank
Do we
you
have
cards.
to give it to the
and-
kids?
What's that?
Does it have to go to
No.
the kids?
No. I
You
would.
go get it, because if I get it, you'll complain later.
No, I
Yeah. No, you can
they
get
call
two.
us the
You can each
Dickerson.
get
Oh,
one
really?
because
Really? Okay.
you had two sessions. So we'll
All right.
close things out. We'll do
Yeah.
that, and then we got to get a picture with you guys. Okay.
Thank
Okay.
you guys.
Well,
Thank
thank
you
you.
very
This
much
was
for
really,
coming.
listen, like, who doesn't like to come and talk about themselves for an hour?
Well, and we like to learn.
Ridiculous.
Yep. Yep.
Ridiculous, yeah.
So thank you guys, and then we'll be done here, and
Great.
you guys can
All right.
grab your stuff. So
Thanks a lot. Yep.
thank
Thank
you.
you.